Hey everyone, we are themoderngentleman.ca. We are proudly Canadian, and we have been invited to the CBC winter launch here at the Bell Light Box. Mike Keane, Zane Mercey will be joining me later to interview some of the celebrities from CBC's winter lineup. We'll see you inside.
But first, I need Yasser's permission.
Oh, and that is so unromantic.
Well, this is how we do things.
You expect to get service from me?
Well, I wouldn't call it service, but you do your best.
How do you feel this show has changed the landscape of Canadian media?
I think gently, and I think that was always the purpose of our show, was to not make a big, huge political statement, but to sort of charm people and entertain people and let people know that Muslim men snore too, you know?
Stop looking at each other like that. I can guess exactly what you are thinking, and it is totally inappropriate. What are your thoughts?
This show is always a clash of cultures of so many. Big city versus rural,
urban.
brown versus white, Muslims versus non-Muslims, men versus women, because obviously there's a certain aspect of society where the gender issues come into play as well.
Not even Toronto is safe.
Yeah, not even Toronto is safe, exactly.
Jesus forgave Judas.
After he was nailed to the cross.
See? Look at this. You and me discussing ideas just like real friends.
This is my Tom. Oh. My husband, Tom. This is Tyler. We know each other from camp.
Is that what they're calling it these days?
In the show, you two fall in love at a very young age. What is your take on young love, and do you think that can be successful?
We represent another point of view, obviously the more conservative parents, and we think it's almost a cautionary tale that two 18-year-olds will make that leap. But what's very mature and interesting about them is that they actually get married. They don't just shack up.
Yeah, they go the traditional route as compared to everybody else.
They are the mature ones.
Wait, have you never had the talk?
Well, how am I supposed to bring it up? Pass the salt, sweetie. Say, how many people have you slept with?
Yeah, like that.
She avoided me because she caught me looking down her shirt yesterday? Because that was an accident. She usually doesn't catch me.
Montreal has the reputation of being Canada's best dressed city. Do you think that your upbringing in Montreal sort of influenced your love of fashion?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I guess a little bit, but I think imaging is very important. It's kind of like branding yourself, and I think branding yourself or branding a product is a very important thing. So it just becomes yours as opposed to everybody's.
So with all this, what would you say is your most coveted piece in your whole wardrobe?
Oh gosh, other than my Montreal Canadiens jersey.
This season marks a Canadian landmark in broadcasting with 2 games that are going to be fully produced and broadcast in 3D. How do you feel our generation is going to receive 3D?
We know that we're just scratching the surface in how this media is going to be consumed, and I think this is the first step for us to see how young people are going to consume. Will there be as much secondary device consumption as we see right now in watching television? I'm not sure. So whether it's from instant replay to the advent of color, to the first HD broadcast, which CBC did in 2003, to now the evolution of 3D, it, I think, continues to solidify our position as an industry leader, and we're excited to be able to do that.
When people think of Canadian fashion icons, they should think of people like Celine Dion or Linda Evangelista or Pierre Elliott Trudeau, but a lot of people would also consider you a Canadian fashion icon.
Absolutely, and so they should. My dad was a fashion plate too. He was about 6'2", he was 234 pounds, 17.5 inch, made to measure. Back in those days, he had all made to measure suits, made to measure shirts, and I always say he used to have the chains and the whole deal, and he really looked sharp. And I always liked the persona of the guys back in the 30s and 40s. They always better dressers than anybody, as far as I'm concerned. So more spiffy, and it's very uncomfortable. The shirts are very uncomfortable. Nobody else wears them. The shirt company makes them for people, and they always send them back. But as Fernando said, It's better to look good than feel good.
So with Hockey Night moving into 3D, are you going to try to use patterns that will play into this?
Coach's Corner does not need a gimmick to look good.